YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 28. So this was kind of your par for the course Zenkaiger episode. Kind of a fun filler episode, but with a few little nuggets about the ongoing plot. And it was the manga episode. You have Zox and Vroom talking about manga and their love of manga, and then of course coincidentally the manga monster is the one that's conveniently attacking right after they're talking about it. And the manga monster basically turns people into manga or manga pages, and when the Rangers go to fight, he turns Two Kaiser's brothers into manga, and then he turns a couple of the Rangers into it. I think it was only Jiran and Majin, but he turns them into these manga pages, and they're trying to figure out how to stop him. And, like, it's weird because they're not, like, trapped in a comic book. It's not like that episode of Power Rangers Dino Thunder where they're trapped in a comic. I mean, they are, but they can, like, interact with the world. Like, they're holding the pages and you can see them sort of talking to you as a manga page. It's pretty clever, you know, it's fun. And they're trying to figure out how to fix this, and they say, like, well, maybe we can lure him out with manga, and Zox is like, you can't just lure him out with any old manga, you know, manga is a sacred art. And they kind of lead the characters and the audience to believe that maybe Zox is like a secret manga artist or an aspiring manga artist, and we're going to have this character episode learning trait about him. But then when we get to the battle, he dumps all this manga, and you think, again, us and the characters think, oh, that's his manga, and it's really good, and it's distracting the monster. But it turns out it's just this really good manga that he swiped from Mangatopia, which is funny. I liked that. They've done that multiple times with Zox, where they lead you one way, they zig, and then they zag, and I liked that, because it kind of made you think, like, oh, we're going to learn about this character trait he has. And he's like, no, I just stole it, and that's totally Zox, and I really liked that. And with this premise, with the fight and throughout the episode, they managed to use this whole manga thing in a pretty unique and fun way, like aesthetically. Like I said, they can interact with the world. So, like, when the Rangers are spying on the monster, like, you have Vroom and them looking around the corner, but then they show, like, the manga pages also looking around the corner, which was one of my favorite kind of funny little moments. And then they use it in the fight, too, which is something that Zenkaiger has been doing a lot recently, is having unique roll calls and fights and stuff that's, like, very specific to the monster of the weak powers. I feel like they started doing that more so with the mecha battles. Like, the mecha battles would have some sort of unique aesthetic or gimmick depending on the monster. But, like, more recently, in the last 10-plus episodes, maybe a little more, they've been incorporating it more into the civilian fight, or, like, unique roll calls. Like, Kira Major did that a lot. Not a lot, but a solid handful of times, but it feels like Zenkaiger is doing that almost every week now, where we have a unique roll call. And so when they do the morphin roll call, you have the manga rangers morphing and doing their roll call with the manga, which is just kind of cool to see. Like, it's cool to see the art, and it makes for a unique roll call and set piece. And it also works with the fight too, like when Zenkaiger summons Dynaman, they have that in the fight because they can, like, interact with the world. It's weird, but it kind of works. And of course it bleeds over to the mecha fight too, having the manga aesthetic. And then as far as, like, the main plot stuff going on, you just get a little teaser in the middle of the episode and then at the very end, where the professor's talking about to Stacy. He's talking about how he uses the dad's brain for, like, all the ideas behind the tech, which we kind of knew, but he just kind of talking and clarifying about it. And he says to him, or says to himself at the end, like, oh, he's basically running out of ideas. We need to kickstart his brain and to get me more ideas. And, you know, it makes sense. It's kind of glad to get clarification on it, because I think at the beginning of the series you might have assumed maybe they were being held in a room somewhere and secretly working on tech. And it's kind of funny, though, thinking about it in this episode. It's kind of like an inverse of the way Rider works, because, like, 9 times out of 10 in Rider, their tech or gimmick is either the same as the villains, or it's like a purified version of it, and it's kind of this whole using evil to fight evil gimmick. And this is kind of the opposite, where the villains are using the tech that's based off of the hero stuff. So I kind of dug that. And I like that throughout this kind of just more silly, fun episode, there was a little bit of a teaser and a continued setup for the ongoing main plot. And then it kind of ends with this moment at the restaurant where they're like, Zox, you really gave up your treasure for your family. And he's like, of course I did. But then Vroom reveals that he gathered up all the manga pages because he wants to read it. And of course Zox wants it back. And they just kind of ended on a funny moment. So yeah, this was an entertaining episode. It was one of the more fun, unique premises to watch, just because it was not only cool to see the drawings in the manga, but the way it interacted with the world was really funny and clever. And I'm a sucker for these unique little roll call morph bits, and I think this was one of their best ones. And again, like I said, I like when they have a fun episode like this that you can enjoy for the fun, but then they also have a little bit of something about the main story to enjoy as well. So overall, I would say this was a solid episode. One of the better, more fun filler ones. I would give it a 4 out of 5. But what did you guys think of the Zenkaiger manga episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications from my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.